good night, right? Wherever you are, we have people from all over the world here. So, I'm going to talk with my guest, Oleg, here in a minute. But before I do that, let me first say hello to everyone. And, tell me on the chat, give me a quick hello there in the chat so we can talk about, right? So here, in the room here with us, we have lots of people. Hey, let's see who's saying hello in the chat. Hey, hello, Dinesh. Can I just say Dinesh because you have like a long name? So hey, Dinesh, how you doing? Hey, Rafael. Hey, Victor. Right. So very, very good to have you all here. We have other people that are not saying hello yet, but let me say a quick hello to everyone here. Right. So hey, Eduardo. Hey, Ben. So Ben is Scottsdale, USA. Eduardo is from San Luis. Hi, Anand. That's great. Right. So Dinesh is from Bangalore. Awesome, man. That's great. So Victor is from Campinas. Awesome. Tony from Barcelona. Christine from Minnesota. Mankato. Awesome. Lots of people from everywhere. So how about you, Oleg? Where are you talking from right now?
Yeah, no, I'm from Kiev, Ukraine. So yeah, nice to join you, Bruno, and nice to join you guys all over the world, right?
Awesome. That's so great. That's so great. Okay. So now, if you're watching us, if you're here with us, right, then we can have a more direct conversation, right, here on AirMeet. But if you're watching us on other places where we're streaming, right, so we're streaming to YouTube, we're streaming to Facebook, we're streaming to Twitter, we're streaming everywhere that we can, right? So if you're watching us from one of those places, say hello. Oh, LinkedIn, right? I have lots of people participating here from LinkedIn. So say hello. Tell us where you're from, right? So we can have a conversation here. I can see here some people watching on YouTube and watching on LinkedIn and watching on Twitter. Awesome. So say hello to us so we can have a conversation here. Now, I have a very special thanks to make for Rafael Del Nero, right? So if you're watching this on Rafael Del Nero's YouTube channel, you might be like, hey, Rafael doesn't look like this guy, right? Yes, exactly, because Rafael, we're streaming through Rafael Del Nero YouTube channel. So if you're part of Rafael's community, welcome here, right? So I'm Bruno Souza, and we're gonna be here together with you, talking about purpose, right? Life's purpose and how to save the planet, and having a meaningful career. So if you want to join us here at AirMeet, let me quickly do this. And let me show you the URL. So if you want to join us here, you can do that, and you can join us. All right. So where is here, right? So if you wanna come here with us, you can just come to this URL right here. This is on the side here. That's where we are, right? So you just use this QR code, or just type this easy URL in your browser. We are here with friends, for friends, to have a nice conversation. So I know Oleg for a long time. Oleg is one of the coordinators of the most awesome international events, right? Devox, right, where he runs Devox Ukraine. So let's talk about this in a minute, right? I've been to Ukraine and met Oleg there when he was doing. I think it was by that day it was still called Java Day, right, Oleg?
Yeah, no. Initially, that was like a Java Day, right? But then we basically rebranded to Devox Family, so now it's Devox Ukraine.
Awesome. All right. So yeah. So when I was there, it was still Java Day, but that's great. So so you're watching us here. Come here with us on the AirMeet, and join here the conversation, or just say hello in the chat. Come on, test there, test the YouTube channel. Test the LinkedIn channel. Just say hello and tell us where you're from so we can know that you're watching us there. All right. Okay. So without further ado, let me introduce my guest here today, right? So Oleg, as already said here, he is coordinator of Devox Ukraine. He works on this awesome company in Ukraine called EPAN. And Oleg is not only a community leader, right, running user groups and all that things in Ukraine, but he's also very, very interested in saving the planet, right? And so the whole discussion we're going to have here today is what we do in our careers. Is this our career something that we it's all about writing software and and creating finance applications, or can we do better than that? So, hey, Oleg, welcome to the Open Conversations by Friends to Friends week.
Yeah, no, thanks, Bruno. I mean, thanks for having me here, and no, my kind of pleasure to join you and everyone else here today. So yeah, I mean, and by the way, I can see only like the chats in the AirMeet, but if we're gonna have some questions on the YouTube or other channels, then I guess Bruno will kind of read that's questions, right, Bruno?
Yeah, that's don't worry. Yeah, so everyone, you can just send questions wherever you are watching this. Just send questions or comments or anything, so I can we can discuss that here, and I'll be watching all those chats, right? So that's great. So and so Tony says hello. So hey Tony, how are you doing? So Oleg, let me start right immediately, right? So now this whole discussion about purpose, right? And I understand that for a lot of people, when we start our career, we are most focused about growing our career. Okay, so hey, Paulo Bocaletti is talking about. Hey guys, Paulo is watching us on LinkedIn. Okay. So thanks, Paulo. So yes, we have now we know the chat's working, right? So thanks a lot, Paulo.
I have no idea, Bruno, how you're like kind of watching all these channels in at the same time. But
that's good. I'll show you one day how to do that. All right.
Okay.
So Oleg, we know a lot of us, we spend a long time in our careers just kind of focus on, I need to learn new technology, I need to do this, and need to be better at a developer. I need to to spend the nights trying to solve this problem. And I don't know about you, right? But I started my career, and until today, I still do that because I have a consulting company that does that. We work on really, really, really big financial systems, right? And a lot of times, and especially when you're working for big companies, right? You spend long nights and you work a lot, and then the system gets, or the solution gets canceled, right? So you spend like several months kind of killing yourself to get things up and running, and then someone decides, oh, we're not going to do this anymore, and cancel the whole system, and that kind of gets to us like a feeling of lack of purpose, or lack of so the purpose just becomes just learning new things, right? Instead of actually changing the world, change the lives of people. So is that the only thing that exists?
No, I mean, not at all, right? But you're absolutely right. That's kind of and probably, and again, I also started my career as a developer, right? And initially, basically, you're not thinking about life purpose or some big kind of goals or big things, or kind of saving nation planets or doing some other crazy stuff, right? So initially, I mean, you're trying obviously to grow your career, right? And which is absolutely like understandable, right? And but at some point, we all kind of, and I had the same kind of feeling, right? That you feel that you're doing some kind of boring stuff, even if it's, of course, I mean, it brings value to your like clients, to your customers. Of course, you're bringing value to your project, to your team. But still kind of, if you think about that, we're basically like doing quite a lot like similar things, right? And just transforming some data or moving it from one place to another, or kind of creating some kind of REST APIs and points, blah blah blah, right? Whatever else. But it doesn't. I mean, for me, at some point, I thought that. I mean, look, I mean, it's really interesting to do something kind of bigger than us, right? To do something probably kind of for kind of better life or better future, stuff like that. And of course, it's again, I'm still at the beginning of this path, right? But my kind of goal, I want to I want to kind of inspire and get developers, get them involved in this kind of like thinking, right? And again, you're absolutely right. it doesn't mean that everyone should go and save planets, right, or save nature. It's just one thing that kind of touch me, right, touch my kind of heart. But there are lots of other things, right? Even doing something for kids' education, for example, or doing something for medicine, helping with for example, COVID, kind of this pandemic fighting or stuff like that. So there are lots of things that actually quite important, right? Quite important nowadays. And if you can bring your skills to do something for again for some big goal, I guess it's awesome. I mean,
yeah. Okay. So actually, Dinesh says I can absolutely relate it to that, right? So yes, because every time we do that we do things, right, that it's only for the only purpose is that we get better, right, or that we change. And I totally agree with you when you say that. We do mostly the same things, right? So it's kind of like we receive something in a web application, we do some process, and we give back the information, right? It's like in the end, that's what most people do. Of course, there are some people doing algorithms, there are some people doing other interesting things, but and having a life, especially a very, very hard life. That you have to be learning all the time. That's one thing that people complain about. We have to be learning all the time. We have to be finding time away from our family, right, to experiment new technologies. There was a discussion the other day on Twitter, like everyone tells that we have to do like personal projects in the weekends, right? So how about why cannot have a normal job that's like 9 to 5 job, for example? So you put all the effort. And then you don't see a meaning on that effort. I think it kind of along the way, right? When the years pass by, it start getting very heavy on you, don't you think?
Yeah, no, I mean absolutely, and again, I mean, usually, right? You should. I mean, I would say, I guess most of the guys really, they are absolutely like spending their own time, right? As you said. But it's quite hard because I mean we have lots of things going around, and it's quite difficult to find the time, extra time, or you need to take it from family, right? And that's one of the greatest things that you can do if you find some like opportunities, for example, at your company or somewhere else that you can actually spend the working hours. Doing something that you want to do, right? That you want to kind of, I mean, bring some value, right? So it's ideal, right? I mean, of course, it's not always you can do this switch at in one go. So sometimes it take time, right? And you need to get some, of course, skills. You need to join some initiatives or projects, and of course, I mean, you might start kind of. Spending your own time, extra time, but again, I mean, I at some point, if you can actually again spend your working hours doing what you want to do, it's awesome. I mean,
right, yeah, because one of the things that lots of people ask me is, do I have to do all those things? Do I have to do all those things in my spare time, right? And do I have to a lot of things that people talk about, we mentioned like they were all volunteers, right? So it's all volunteers, so yeah, you're going to participate in open source as a volunteer, you're going to participate on some Save the Planet effort as a volunteer. It's everything seems to be a volunteer, right? So can we combine how do you, let me ask a very specific question. So how can I combine that in a way that I can do things that matter, do things that have a meaning, and at the same time get paid for that? Is that possible?
No, it's possible. It's probably not so easy as kind of we would like to, right? But no, I mean, I guess it's definitely possible. And again, as I said, I mean, myself, right? I'm still probably not there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there definitely is, several things you can do. Again, as I already mentioned. So, for example, I started from my company. I started to look, when I started to interested in this, sustainability thing and this, kind of saving nature and planet. Basically, what I did, I started to look at some like communities inside my company, right? That they're doing some, green. Not green technology, but more the kind of green volunteering or eco kind of stuff, right? Eco volunteering stuff. But so I started from that. So we had the community in at my company. So I contacted them. I told them about my ideas that I'm looking how actually developers can be involved in this stuff, right? Not just doing some volunteering stuff. And again, I'm telling people that doing volunteering is also great. I mean, you bring also some value, of course, and you can be proud of that. But ideally, if you can apply your developer skills, and especially at our time, I guess technology can bring a lot of value and a lot of power to fighting some of the biggest problems in the world, right?
Right.
So I guess again, being a developer, doing something some kind of project or participating in some activity as the developer can have more kind of impact potentially than doing just volunteering stuff. But again, it can be complementary thing. And so
one thing I like to say about volunteer, right? It's very simple. Now, for me, a volunteer is not someone that doesn't get paid, right? For me, a volunteer is someone that does that thing because he wants to, right? And so I mean, if you can be inside your company and look, basically, if you're doing that because you want to do, and if your company stops paying you for that, you're going to continue to do that, right? So, I consider that you are a volunteer because you're doing that because you want to, not because someone is paying you. But of course, when you combine those two things, that's great. And so for example, if you're able to get time from your company, right, to sponsor some cause or to improve something in people's lives, or even to work on, because we're talking about saving the planet here, but I'm sure there are things you can tell us. I'm sure there are things I can do in my software, right? So if I reduce some kind of waste, or if I use less time to do things, or if I use less energy to do things, I don't know. Maybe there are things I can do in my daily work that can make a difference. So do you think there are opportunities like this that we can think about?
Yeah, no, some time ago, by the way, I came across one nice tweet, basically from I guess that was from Martin Fowler, actually.
Mm-hmm.
He spoke about their initiatives at ThoughtWorks, that some of the other, the folks on his team they've been working on some open source project, an open source basically tool, let's say, to help to measure how efficient or what is the carbon footprint, I guess. I don't remember the whole details of that, but basically measure how efficiently, in terms of carbon footprint, is your system or your basically product, right? Whatever your application running in cloud, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is very interesting. So I haven't, I didn't have a chance to look at that yet, but this is something I'd like to try, basically, because it's an awesome, right? The same thing that you have a lot of tools to measure performance or check security, right? check some security vulnerabilities or do some other stuff, or probably to calculate the cost of your solution. The same thing you can, potentially, measure efficiency from sustainability perspective, from the carbon footprint, from I guess it's based on the amount of kind of energy or basically kind of power that you need in order for your solution to work, right? And they have, I guess, plugins for the most widely used the public cloud providers, right? For AWS, for Azure, and for GCP. So this is exactly, I guess, what you were asking. So there is this software already that helps you measure that, because if you think about that, it's quite difficult to measure, right? If you write some code, it's how to measure how it's like efficient from resources perspective, but you can actually measure that to some extent, right? In terms of the power usage, I guess.
That's interesting. Okay, so let me just kind of say hello. Aguinaldo is saying hello from LinkedIn. So hey, Aguinaldo, good to see you here. So Rafael says, I believe that how much more you code, much better we get. So you think that we could use that possibility, right, of doing code, doing software, or even participating in a project and save the planet, and at the same time we get better as developers? Are there opportunities like this?
Yeah, this is absolutely. I mean, this is a very good question, and so it's probably not exactly what Rafael meant, but I love that you touched that. So actually, and again, I mean, some of the folks that I've talked to, when I mention something around like saving nation planet, they're saying, oh, look, I mean, no, I mean we need basically to put a lot of efforts in switching to this kind of new area. So we are busy with kind of trying to grow our career, trying to learn some new kind of tools, and probably get some to the next level, in terms of your kind of engineering skills or career. But in reality, right, you can combine that. So in reality, you can play with the awesome, cool technologies in the sustainability space, right? Doing some projects for sustainability, or for the saving nation planet. And by the way, in that space, there are, so for example, artificial intelligence is probably the most kind of useful technology, I would say, or area of technology that is widely used, right? So there are lots of applications, and I guess even most of the applications of machine learning, or most of the cool applications of machine learning and artificial intelligence, actually in that sustainability space, because sustainability, like, it covers lots of topics, right? So it covers both some smart cities, for example, and all smart kind of devices, smart technologies that is used in smart kind of cities, and also it covers, so for example, conservation technology, which deals with animals, right? With some kind of tracking populations and blah blah blah, right? So there are lots of interesting applications of the cool technologies, and especially again IoT devices and the artificial intelligence kind of tools. So you still can learn new technologies. You can grow as the engineer, as the developer, doing some really important kind of stuff, right?
That's great. So Dinesh says, yes, for example, reducing the time taken to build a job, keeping the resources taken for deployment can actually save a good amount of energy, right? So, there are small things we can do that might make a difference. Do you think that does make a difference somehow?
No, absolutely. Some of the guys quite skeptical about that, right? Especially when you're talking about public cloud, right? So some of the folks, I know they argue that So look, I mean, public cloud is still running. It's still, using lots and lots of resources, and there is no basically difference whether you will be using them or you will be not using them, or your deployment takes, I mean, small time or long time. You still kind of waste the energy, waste the resources. I mean, in terms of public clouds, but again, I mean, it is arguable, right? Because the companies that stand behind this big public clouds like Microsoft, Google, right? They're quite concerned and quite interested in that sustainability thing and getting to net zero, right? I mean, reducing their footprint and carbon emission and all this stuff, right? So they are doing a lot right now to make their first of all, to use renewable energy or kind of green energy for their like data centers, but also to, I mean, I'm pretty sure they are kind of optimizing a lot of their resource usage and energy usage. So again, I mean, probably we are not there yet, right? It's probably like we're still wasting some of the energy or resources, but they get better, and it's not one day journey, right? But we should still kind of think about that, and we should still do something by ourselves as well, right? Because if it's only like one guy, it's probably doesn't make difference. But if it's a lot of developers, thinking about like efficient usage of resources or thinking about like smart usage of resources, it makes difference, right? Just by the number of people that are involved in that.
Right, and I those cloud providers, I'm sure they are worried about the cost, right, for running all those things, and so they try to optimize. And the good thing about, for example, using containers, right, is that containers allow what we call a larger density, right? So you can have more stuff running on the same hardware because of containers. We actually had Tatiana. She is the VP of Gelask, right? That's a cloud provider that is very focused on containers. And so she was here yesterday, and she was talking about how Gelask has a pay per use, but they only charge you for the resource you are actually using, right? Yeah. So contrary to most clouds, they charge you for the maximum that maximum level that you set. They charge for everything. Gelask, you put the maximum level, but they only charge you for what you actually use, right? So of course, if they only charge you for what they use, they're very concerned about not spending a lot of money in the back end, right? Because there's no, because they're not charging you this extra, right?
Yeah.
So
no, absolutely.
So I think that they have a lot of interest in making this thing happen too, right?
Yeah, no, true, absolutely.
But we can't just rely on them, right? Can we? Can we just rely on them and say, oh yeah, the cloud provider is going to do it, so I don't have to worry about it? Is that what you need to do?
No, I guess this is also another let's say wrong kind of perception or the wrong kind of attitude, right? I mean, and it's not just about public providers. I mean, lots of people think that I mean we are kind of too small, right, as the kind of human or as the individuals, so we can't make difference, right? So lots of people thinking that, so they're saying. I mean, they are relying on governments or big companies like to do something. I mean, otherwise they're saying, oh, okay, if they don't do anything, then we are like stuck, right? We are kind of done. But in reality, again, this is the this is probably mathematic, or this is the idea of the big numbers, right? Or so that's. One individual probably doesn't change a lot, but we are not alone, right? There are lots of people, and even kind of talking about that, even promoting some of these kind of ideas And what we basically do even right now, right? We are promoting these ideas, and again, the more people will kind of think about that, more people will be doing that. It will be much more like impact. And the other thing is also that so kind of, again, lots of companies right now, they begin to do this switch. They become concerned about that, not just because our whole kind of situation with climate become worse and worse, but also because more and more people become concerned about that. More and more people, like even looking for some jobs that is either related to kind of sustainability things, or they are looking at the companies that are thinking about that, and that are kind of how's it called, basically doing something to save our planet and nature, right? So this is like companies reputation, let's say, right? So lots of people now cares about that and look at that, and this is the reason which kind of push companies to do some of these changes, right? So it's all related, right? We can't just rely on someone else.
Right. So Rafael says, asks a very good question here. So so if I help open source projects abroad, may that help me get a job offer abroad, right? So and actually, if you're thinking about, there's a lot of open source projects that are trying to solve big planet problems, right? So are there those? If people are interested, are there open source projects that people can participate?
Yeah, no, I mean, no, absolutely. I guess, and this is, of course, it's more, I guess, kind of general question that I guess Bruno can even like answer better than me, but because he's been like helping developers to grow their careers and participate in open source projects a lot, but with regard to the some of the sustainability projects, or saving nature and planet projects, right? It's again, it's if you if you participate in something abroad, right, then more people knows you, right, and you basically you show your skills, you kind of you become more kind of let's say visible to lots of people, right, and especially for those who are working together with you, right, and of course, I mean, depends on this like open source projects. Depends on the companies that are basically running them. You can either join that companies actually, if they have some kind of open positions, right, or open roles, or again, I mean, some other companies might recognize you, right, and you might join the other kind of the companies, or you might get some offer. But another thing also, I mean, I guess it's also important. I mean, if you even add to your resume, or add to your kind of your experience portfolio, if you add something kind of related to some big goals, like saving nation planet, for example, I mean, the kind of I would tell you that a lot of companies, a lot of like people will kind of appreciate what you're doing actually, and will and it also makes difference, right? Because when companies are hiring, especially if they are quite kind of, let's say, good companies and top companies, they are not just looking at your skills, right? They are also looking at your personality and what's your fit to the company, right? What's your fit to their culture, right? And if you're showing them that you're actually not just a coder, right? That are just writing some code without, having no idea about the basically context or business or the problem what you're trying to solve, right? It's not very kind of good, right? But if you show them that you actually thinking more wide and you actually have the proper attitude and some kind of big vision, it will definitely be the advantage for you guys. I guess we lost Bruno here, so I guess the Bruno is trying to reconnect. Shannon, unfortunately, I don't see your questions probably on the other social media things, but you can join Airmeet and ask your questions in the live chat. Oh, I can see that Gunnardi, if I correctly pronounce your name. Any suggestions for mid-age programmer for pursuing developer journey with new technologies, cloud computing, microservices, etc.? So, I'm not sure this kind of question very related to the sustainability thing, right? But no, and so I can give you just suggestions as the as the developer and as the solution architect whom I'm working right now. So and I'm not sure what do you mean by mid-age programmer, because I guess kind of it's it regardless of your age, right? It's never late to kind of learn something new, right? And some technologies, right? And this is very good that you're interested in some of the kind of new and modern technologies like a cloud computing and microservices. And again, there are lots of course resources available for you. So kind of there are lots of courses, there are lots of materials. With regards to cloud computing, right, especially, there are very good documentation on the Microsoft side and on the other on AWS as well, and for Google Cloud. So there is very kind of good documentation, and I found very useful as the solution architect. Especially, so the Microsoft architecture guide is very nice. Right, and so basically you can simply learn by yourself. I would say you don't need necessary to kind of attend some paid courses or stuff like that. So again, documentation is very good nowadays. So you can definitely get up to speed with cloud computing, and of course you should try. You should do practice a lot, right? You should don't hesitate to try things out, right? As you learn them. But also there are some courses available. The both free courses and paid courses. Mostly paid, of course, but on LinkedIn and on the Udemy and the other resources, right? So you can check that out as well, right? So another question from Amit here: what would be your advice for principal engineer or architect who feels he's no more growing? Yeah, no, this is actually kind of probably my case, but I can't say that because right now I'm the solution architect, right? And so I can't say that I'm not growing, right? So you can still grow as the probably as the solution architect, learn some new platforms in terms of like technology, or learn some new business domains in terms of the business right coverage, or do lots of other stuff to grow your career. Right? But again, depends on your situation. If you feel that you are not growing because you want to work on something that really matters, right? That was in my case, right? So again, I mean, I wanted to work on something that really matters, and in your case, it can be some, and anything that matters to you, right, Amit? But you should really try that, right? So if you're interested in some particular kind of area, or some big kind of problems that we have nowadays, or some big challenges, then you can give it a try, right? So you can like try to research yourself, this kind of particular topic, for example. Look for some of the kind of communities, look for some existing projects, existing like initiatives, existing ideas, and stuff like that. So it's like, again, it's a long journey, right? But don't be afraid to do that, right? And again, I mean, as we've been talking kind of before, right? You can start from your company. I mean, potentially, you can do something inside your company, and the company will like support your ideas or your initiatives. If not, again, there are lots of other either projects out there, or companies that are probably looking for some fresh ideas, or offering something in that area that you are interested in. So again, I mean, there is no kind of simple answer here, but yeah, I mean, you can reach out to me kind of later if you like, and tell me a bit more context, and tell me a bit more about yourself, right? And okay, so Dinesh is asking what's your take on cryptocurrency, and whether it challenges sustainability. Yeah, no, this is sure would like to get. Yeah, cool. I can actually post in here, right? So I have the Facebook group. I mean, I don't have a lot of people there because I started it not some time ago, but again, you're welcome to join, right? And I'm trying to post some kind of interesting news or things that I hear about sustainability, and some kind of projects or initiatives or applications that is helping somehow in for the planet, for the nature. So I can give you the link here, right? So you're welcome to join, but again, you can reach out to me kind of directly also. So the Dinesh question is very good, by the way, and so I didn't do any like deep kind of research in that area, but so cryptocurrency and all this kind of Bitcoins mining and all this stuff. It definitely, because I read a couple of kind of articles on that, so it definitely takes a lot of resources. I mean, it's basically crazy amounts of energy and kind of resources to to get that going, right? And again, there are different researches talking about different numbers, of course, because some some kind of claiming that this is like almost biggest consumption of the energy, basically, right? Source of the energy consumption. But the others is kind of saying that it's not so, let's say, it's not so like epic, probably, right? But it's still huge, right? It definitely takes a lot of energy consumption, and I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. But again, this is not my topic. I'm not very kind of knowledgeable in that particular area, right? But I would say I think definitely we can do better, right? I can, I think definitely we can. We still can be more efficient and more kind of, let's say, sustainable in working with cryptocurrency, right? And I guess the second part of your question, you're saying that basically whether it challenges sustainability. So again, this is definitely one of the challenging area, by the way, right? That requires some kind of attention, right? So if you can think or kind of propose or any kind of ways how to make it more efficient, this whole kind of cryptocurrency processing stuff, then I guess it would be the great startup or the great kind of initiative or the project that you can pursue, right? But yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of the big kind of energy consumptions. I don't want to say that this is one of the big evils, right? But this is something I definitely think we can do better, right? So the Tony is asking, do you know some open source sustainability projects? Yes, I mean, again, depends on what you mean by like sustainability, because I mean the sustainability area is quite kind of wide, right? Quite big, but I mean, let me do one thing, right? It's not necessarily the projects, but I have.
Hey, yeah. Oleg, how about you share with everyone that document that you did, right?
You mean the ebook, right?
Yes, the ebook with all the projects that you come up with.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it's not my projects, unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, I wanted, yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I mean, I did some time ago, I did the kind of free ebook with like top 10 apps, basically to kind of inspire developers to be more sustainable or to build similar tools, right? So I can share with you. Give me a second. But so this is this.
Yeah, put the link here and look, I do suggest everyone that is here to, if you're interested in that topic, right? The most important thing, one thing that Oleg was talking before, is that like one person might feel like they cannot make a big difference, but if lots of people join together, it makes a big difference. So if you're interested in the topic, go to Oleg's Facebook group and join there, because that makes a big difference, right?
Yeah. So so I posted the link, guys, to that's my kind of free ebook that you can actually download, right? And see that 10 apps, basically 10 mobile or web apps that I found quite useful, right? And some of them they have they have their source code as the open source, so you can go and check it out, right? So and also again, I posted that's linked to my Facebook group. So I'm I'm posting a lot of stuff in there, and there are some of the links. If I came across some of the interesting projects, basically open source projects, then I post in there, right? So for example, that's one thing I mentioned about. So that's one thing I mentioned about that open source tool from Martin Fowler folks from ThoughtWorks, right? So it's open source, so you can kind of check it out as well, right? So I guess I did some posts in Facebook for that. If not, then you can reach out to me. I'll try to find it, or it was probably on Twitter. So you can also kind of join my Twitter, and I'm also tweeting there some of the links, right?
Yes, I'm gonna post here the link to this report that you did. I'm gonna post on all the channels here, so people can actually follow it if they want.
Okay. No, thanks, Bruno. And the question from Dinesh: are there any solutions, tech blocks out there, such as development patterns that can help to implement sustainability in a everyday projects? So I don't know about this particular kind of things like a patterns for sustainability, but this is by the way a very good idea, Dinesh. So you should definitely kind of keep in touch with me. So this is probably something you can do, or we can do, or someone else can do, right? Because this is quite interesting idea, but I'm not aware about this anything like this right now. So the army Amit kind of posted a lot of stuff here. More context to my previous question. Okay, interesting going deep in one particular tag, but as I'm the senior most person in my team, most of my time goes mentoring, guiding juniors, due to which I'm not able to go deep in my tech. Also, don't have many principal engineers in my company. From them, I can learn. And now, outside company are too focused, in which I'm not interested. And as my tech is niche, my options are limited. And again, I feel at my experience level and position, I feel I will have same issues unless I work as consultant. What do you think? Yeah, no. Again, I mean, this is. I guess you're in similar situation as myself, right? Because I can kind of do a lot, or tell a lot about architecture, for example, or about like development. But I'm really interested nowadays in this saving nature and planet thing, which is also like quite, again, it's not popular enough, I would say, right? Especially in some of the countries, right? So this is also like a small niche if you compare to some other stuff. So if I would come and tell about Kubernetes, probably like thousands of people will be listening to me, right? But this thing is, I mean, my kind of area is also quite a small niche, but I'm still trying to pursue that. I'm trying to bring some awareness and build some community around that. So I would suggest you to try to build your community around your your ideas, your kind of technology that you're interested in, right? And see how it goes, right? Um, so in terms of consulting, yeah, I mean, of course, you can do consulting, but you need to understand your audience, right? You need to find your kind of clients to do the consulting on that.
Yeah. So I mean, let me add a little bit here to this to Emmett's question, right? And I know I dropped it for a little bit, but his basic question is if you're not growing, right, Emmett? So if you're not growing, Emmett, one thing that you put a lot of situation here in your company, like saying, oh, there's not anyone better than me in my company. I'm like at the top, and I spend a lot of time helping others. And so one of the things that you have to understand, I mean, that is not the job of your company to make you grow. It's your job, right? So your company might help you, and they might give you subsidies to help so you grow. But it's your job, right, to grow, to keep increasing your career, right? So, and I understand that a lot of times we feel like we don't have the time, that we we don't have the means. But look, you're here with us, right? And there's so many other people in the markets that can help you, and they're also like you. They're also trying to improve. They're also trying to increase, right? So go find people outside of your company, right, that can help you grow. You already said here that you're gonna have a conversation with Oleg. Yes, exactly. So come here. meet the people that are in this discussion here, for example, and then go talk with them, right? Go participate, go discuss that. I'm going to invite, we're at the top of the hour here, but I'm going to invite Oleg if he wants to continue the conversation. We can go to the lounge and continue the conversation there. But, so come talk with people, come participate in events. We're going to have TDC, the Developers Conference events next week, for example, right? So you can come to the event, you can meet lots of people. So go find the people that are better than you and learn from them and go back to your company and teach the younger people, right? Because what you want is that you want to build people that can take over some of the activities that you're doing, right? So now you can teach younger people to mentor other younger people, so then you can have more time to go deep in your technology. So think about ways that you can meet people better than you, because I think it's very important. I agree with that, right? I'm always trying to meet lots of. That's why I do this conversation here, for example, right? So because I can meet lots of people that are better than I am, right? And so and also it's important for you to teach younger people, but teach them to teach others, right? So and there's a guy yesterday here, Scott. He had one good thing that he did for his company. It was like, because he spent a lot of his time mentoring people, he started recording his mentorship, right? So he would show how to do something and he would record that and then give to people. So he built a library of content inside his company, right? Where other people could learn from. And that actually increases his credibility, because now lots of people know him, because lots of people watching his videos inside his company. He helping him be recognized for what he's doing, and he actually got less work and less time for him. So there's ways for us to do that in a way that you can really improve it. There's more questions here, Oleg. So let's keep going here. So Dinesh says, how much important is your opinion on software efficiency, very hardware efficiency in sustainable solutions?
Yeah, no, I guess Dinesh, as I already told, I guess the most important, right? I mean, probably kind of hardware like efficiency, or I would say data centers efficiency is probably more important for the sustainability, because it just has the probably bigger impact, right? But still, the software efficiency also makes sense, right? Because again, it's all related, right? And as Bruno made that use case with Gelastic, right? You're supplying more resources as you have the more demand for them, right? So if your kind of applications require less less resources, then you will be also spending less energy, less resources, right? So it's all related. But I would say again, the probably hardware or data centers efficiency is more kind of has more impact. But again, everything is important, right? And for example, if yourself you can influence only software parts of things, then probably this is something you should do, right? If you can influence the hardware, then I mean, please go ahead, right? Or you can potentially influence the both sides. Okay. So probably the last question, because I probably need to kind of run away soon. But so I have the Christian is asking, I have the opposite problem. I know a little bit about many things, not an expert at any one thing. I find it difficult to market that. Also, I burned out with studying outside of work because it had been useless too many times. How to bounce back with this marketing situation? So, do you want to answer, Bruno?
Okay, I can take a stab at that. So first of all, Christine, let me tell you this. I'm looking here, and I'm pretty sure, Christine, that we're supposed to schedule a conversation, me and you, right? And So Yeah, Dinesh saying thank you, Oleg. Right? There's some other people saying thanks here. Amit saying thank you. So, Christine, we're supposed to have a conversation, me and you, weren't we? Right? I know I sent you a couple of emails for us to schedule, and you never did schedule. So, how about schedule a conversation with me so we can go deeper into whatever problem you're going on right now, right? And so, and I understand that. If we don't grow, we burn out, right? And the fact that you know a little bit about many things, and you're not an expert in any one thing, it means that you are an expert in solving problems with lots of things, right? That's what you have. You know a little bit of everything. Then you are an expert in solving problems with all those things, right? And so you still can use that to position yourself in the market. Remember that being an expert is not an expert in a technology, right? Technologies are tools, right? So you're not expert on hammers, right? You're not expert, you're expert on, building furniture, or an expert in building windows, right? You're an expert on solving a problem. And that's the thing you should focus on, Christine. What is the problem that you can focus on? What is the problem that you know how to solve, that you use all those tools to solve that problem? And because and I agree with you, right? The whole point is not to study everything outside of work, right? The whole point is to actually build your reputation, so you get to work and learn things at work, right? Of course, there's always a little bit of learning outside of work, but it's not about learning everything. It's not about spending all your time and burning out. Burning out is the worst thing you can do, because exactly what happens is this, right? You burn out, and then you don't want to do, right? And studying outside of work has been useless many times. Yes, because you're studying without purpose, right? So you have to focus on things that make a difference. So you put all the effort into really getting really get results of what you're doing. So, Christine, one thing I'm going to tell you: go back to your maybe those emails were in your spam, right? But go back to your emails and find my email where you're supposed to schedule a conversation with me, right? And schedule a conversation with me. Let's sit down together and let's go deep into what problem you have, and then you can have a conversation. If you could not find those emails, Christine, send me a message. Just type right here in the message, and let's figure out a way for me to go talk to you, right? Because you're already part of my group, Christine. Let's talk a little bit more about this, and then so then I don't take a lot of time from Oleg here right now.
Yeah, no, I mean it all makes sense, and I suggest you really to speak to Bruno. Bruno is the great mentor and great coach and great friend, actually. So I want to add just one small thing here, as Bruno was telling about. Don't try to kind of learn everything, and this without actually results, right? The same actually applied to doing something even for sustainability, right? I mean, I have a lots of ideas what I can implement, for example, or what kind of people can implement, but before instead of going in all these things and try to kind of implement something, spending lots of time on that, first you need to think whether it will be really used by people. And this is very important, because if you go start like developing something, or as in your case, if you go and try to learn something, right, without knowing that it will bring you the kind of benefit, or it can bring the value to someone else, right? You can potentially you can just spend your time, and you can just waste your time, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, again, I just wanted to add this because it's very important, because lots of people, they're trying to implement something, but then nobody use it, right? And they are stuck, right? They kind of frustrated even, which is even worse, right? So So think about think before act, right? And try to concentrate your energy and attention on specific kind of things that you see the benefits from, right?
Okay, that's great. So, Oleg, I think we've gone over all the questions, and I know maybe you can have a few more minutes in the lounge if people want to talk about. I'm going to make mine the words of Dinesh, because Dinesh says, "Thank you, Oleg, for challenging us to think a bit differently." So, thanks a lot, Oleg. Yes, bringing that topic, it's very, very important. Thinking about our careers and having. Leonardo is saying here, great live. Miguel is saying thanks, right? So,
thanks, guys.
I mean, thinking about our careers and how to get a purpose for our career is great. So, one thing I would like to invite everyone is that next week we're going to be running TDC, the Developers Conference, right? So, let me just kind of put a link here for everyone so you guys can see where you can register. But if you register for the free TDC events, right, on Monday, I'm going to open the event with a presentation about purpose, right? Finding purpose in your career, right? So maybe that would be a great thing. I think it will be translated, right? So I have to figure that out to see if it's going to be translated or not. But on Monday we're going to have, and that's going to be completely free. And on Tuesday, when the event starts, right, we're actually going to have a talk by James Gosling, right? So it's a great opportunity, and that's going to be for free. It's going to be free for you guys to participate. And so I'm just going to put the link here, and I'm also going to put the link there in the other chat, right? So yes, take a look at Oleg's free ebook. Take a look at TDC, where you can get the free ticket for the basic pass, and the basic pass gives you access to my talk on Monday, and also to James Gosling presentation on Tuesday, and lots of other content. So hope to see you there. And thanks a lot, Oleg. Is there anything, Oleg, that I should have asked you that I did not, that you want to end with?
No, I mean, not really. I mean, I enjoyed our conversation, and I'm actually even more happy that guys were involved in the conversation and asked some questions, right? So I really enjoyed it, guys. And again, I mean, if you, hopefully that was like, interesting, useful for you guys. And I just, posted again a couple of links that I shared with you before. So you might want to kind of join my Facebook group or check out the ebook, and see you probably next time. And by the way, on that TDC kind of conference, I guess we're gonna have also the Bruno gonna have the booth, right, Bruno? And I'm going to present to give a talk on that booth about kind of sustainability, and not just sustainability, but basically it's called Developer on a Mission. So basically, it's about developers, how developers can be involved in something that really matters, or in saving nation planet. So you might want to kind of join that booth and join my session there, right?
Awesome. Okay, so thanks a lot, Oleg. Thanks everyone. It was an awesome conversation. I love the questions here, and it was all great. So thanks everyone. Look, cool. If you guys want to do this, the event is open all the time, right? So you can come back to the event and go to the lounge, sit down on one of the tables. Every time I see there's some people floating around the event, right? So you can just sit down on one of the tables so you can have a conversation among yourselves. And unfortunately I can't stay here right after this, but maybe Oleg, if you can stay a few minutes, you could go to the lounge and talk with people if you're interested in this. But even if you're not here, I suggest you that you sit down at the table and have a conversation. You have so many cool people here. You all have similar problems, and you discuss it, and you so many different companies in different places. Maybe you can start a relationship here, and you can start a conversation. If not, do the conversation on the Facebook group. That's going to be awesome too. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks, Oleg. It was awesome. It was an honor to have you here on this open conversations week.
Thank you, my friend, for having me.
Thank you.
Cheers.